Hello friends, welcome back to Francesca's Books. My name is Francesca, would you believe it? And these are my books, and here we talk about all things thriller books. And today we are starting a very exciting new release thriller vlog because there is so many brand new thrillers that have come out in the last month, are coming out in the next few weeks, and I think you guys need somewhere to go to see if they're worth buying or not. Let that be me. If you enjoy this video or just thriller books in general, don't forget to like this so you can come back to it later and subscribe to my channel for more. Also, for you die-hard fans out there, you can also join my channel as a member for exclusive access. Link below. I asked you guys whether you would prefer a new release thriller vlog or a summer thriller vlog just to see what the general consensus was, and you guys chose new releases by a landslide. So here we are, and very aptly, as this book has literally come out today, I'm going to start with 1 in 4 by Lucinda Berry. I have read quite a lot of Lucinda Berry's books before. I haven't quite completed her backlist. She may be my next victim after Mary Kubica, and have really enjoyed them, but controversially, The Perfect Child, which is probably her most popular book, was probably my least favourite. She has written some fantastic books like The Best of Friends, The Secrets of Us, which have had these like real raw and gripping characters, as well as like a really good plot, which I think thriller authors struggle to get right sometimes. So 1 in 4 comes out on June 13th, and this is literally like 250 pages. So I think we're gonna fly through this. It'll also be available on Kindle Unlimited. So if you have a Kindle and want to read it there, it will also be available. If you have a Kindle and don't have Kindle Unlimited, I have a code where you guys can get like 3 months free. I'll also pop that in the description. So if you've never signed up before and want to give this a read, you're welcome. Maybe hold your horses though until you have just watched me read it to see if it's actually worth it or not, because I don't know yet. So this book follows a doctor who is cast into a reality TV show of 6 or 7 alcoholics or ex-addicts, and they are living in this like Big Brother style house, but it's also like a rehab centre. So they're all child stars who the industry has really taken a toll on them, and they've ended up in this situation. That is all I know about this book, and I'm not going to read any more about it before I dive in, because I love just like not knowing what's going to happen. Like, who knows? So it is another gorgeous day in England today. I have no idea why this weather has been so good for literally like the last 6 weeks. So I'm going to go and sit in the garden for a little bit and read, but sometimes I just get a little bit too hot. Like, I'm not born for this, so we'll see how long that lasts. I've come inside because it's way too hot, but I have some thoughts. I'm only on chapter 5, and I just love how Lucinda Berry like throws you straight in to the story. I've done some thinking, and I know it's a dangerous place to be, but since her books are a bit shorter, so this is literally like 240 pages, I feel like she has to get to the crux of what's going on like a little bit quicker than some other authors. But this like so worked for me. Like, we are literally 40 pages in, and I have a pretty good overview of like the story so far, what's happened, potentially where this might go, like the main characters. I think this is going to be a really good book for people who don't have like a really long attention span and just want to be like straight into the action. I'm also making myself a little iced coffee now, and I thought I would just pop you up in the cupboard there to make it with me, because why not? I have only got blue milk today, which I literally never drink, but my boyfriend's been here and he likes it, so I'm nothing if not a good girlfriend. So I'm obviously going to use it up. Obviously with the vanilla. This is how I make it. So I put the milk in first. Ooh. Guess the amount of vanilla, quite honestly. It feels like a bit of an auto response at this point. And then this is the crazy bit, okay? Not sponsored by Thrills and Chills. So then I get the coffee, maybe like 1 scoop, 1.5 scoops, and then half a teaspoon of sugar. And then like the tiniest bit, like think like, this is boiling water by the way, I think like an espresso shot worth of water. Yeah, and then coffee. There you go. Francesca's Book Special, your go-to thriller and coffee girly, apparently. So, quite surprisingly, this has dove into the action like further ahead in the timeline than I thought it was going to. So we have our main character, Laurel, who is the doctor that's treating these like child stars in this. It's almost like a rehab facility, but with like alternative practices. So they're trying to set them up for a better quality of life after the rehab facility as well. But the twist is that it's all literally live streamed. So it is very Big Brother, like extremely Big Brother, but think with a mental health focus. And this story starts when one of the people in the house has been unalived. So of course there is going to be flashbacks to like the before events. We've also got another point of view that is just titled Her. We don't know whose point of view that is. I have my suspicions. And then we have 7 characters that are in this house on this like addiction rehab program, all different ages, all different backgrounds, but the commonality is that they were all child stars. Our main character as well, who was the therapist overseeing like the whole project. So Laurel, she is a lesbian as well. So I I'm wonderfully happy with the representation here. Of course, Lucinda Berry, this author herself, is within the LGBT community, so I'm not surprised. And I'm also just like, it was just like a little added bonus. Also, I feel like Lucinda Berry should put like doctor here at the start of her like title. Like, girl, own it, you know? You're a doctor, you do that shit. So I will continue and see you very soon. Mentioned in this book. Obviously not actually my boyfriend, it's just his name, one of the characters. But it's a very unusual name, so I'm surprised. This is the second time his name's been in a book I read. Suspicious. This book is so incredibly easy to read. Like, Lucinda Berry is one of those authors, like Frida McFadden, where I don't know what it is in the actual writing, but it just grips you. Like, it's like crack. I don't know what like format this is, or like how they know exactly where to put the twists, or like the moments. I don't know what it is. I wish I knew the secrets. So I'm probably like 75% of the way through now, but there wasn't really that much to update because a lot of the first part of the story was just giving backgrounds to the characters that were in the treatment facility and a bit more background on the like female main character, Doctor, and the people surrounding her. There has just been about 3 twists back to back within maybe like 3 chapters, which was incredible. The first one, I absolutely was like, yeah, I'm clued onto you. I know you are not telling the full truth. The other 2, I was like, sorry. Like, there was the first plot twist and I was like, yeah, I kind of saw that coming, whatever. And then it was just like, bam, bam. Now it is going a lot darker in like more typical Lucinda Berry style, which I am loving. This has also gone away from the main narrative of like the Big Brother style reality TV show. I was worried that was going to be like the whole book because it's not super to my taste in terms of like almost like game shows and thrillers. They can be done well, but I would probably, if that's the whole plot, I would tend to dodge. So I was hoping that that wasn't, you good. This is also, don't know, there's something about this book that's making me very happy. So I finished Lucinda Berry's newest book, 1 in 4, and here's exactly what I thought. This was a very quick read, and I feel like it's because her actual books are quite short. This was about 250 pages, and the chapters are quite short as well. The writing's very easily digestible, so I feel like as beginners, the actual style is fantastic, but the content is dark. So the premise of this didn't exactly sound like light and fluffy and happy and all sunshine and rainbows, but it was so much darker than I thought it was going to be. So of course I won't include spoilers, but I do just feel like this book isn't what it's marketed as. The synopsis, probably a tiny bit misleading, describes like a Big Brother gone wrong reality style TV show situation where you're dealing with the fallout of this show and the goings on that have happened over the last few weeks, and it feels like that is what the book is for maybe like the first 20%. The rest of the book is basically nothing to do with the show. Also, one of the bad guy characters was somebody that I suspected literally from the beginning, so I'm not sure what that says, whether it's just me reading a lot of thriller books and can kind of just spot these things, but I do feel like Lucinda Berry's books, I normally don't really have a great idea about where it's going, and this one I did, in terms of its bad guy characters, what to call it, an antagonist. But in terms of where the actual plot went, it just dived into this really like dark, gritty one area of our main character's story, and just really wasn't expecting it. So of course I won't go into too much detail in case you guys are going to pick this one up. I will say it did have more plot twists than a normal Lucinda Berry book. So some of her books, like The Perfect Child, they're kind of just stories and you kind of just go through the narrative with our main characters. This did have twists, so I very much like that from Lucinda, and that brought this book back up a little bit for me. So I ended up giving it a 3.5, which I think is good. It was a good thriller, it just wasn't what I expected, and I did enjoy it, but it wouldn't be like the first one of her books that I would like rush to pick up. So for my next book is one that I've literally just had delivered in the post, as in like yesterday, and has immediately been bumped up to my next read. You're gonna see why in a minute. I'm gonna show you the clues first, okay? Any guesses? It is, of course, Holly Jackson's next book that is due for publication in July. I have been very lucky to get an advance copy of this. I really don't think there was many like floating around at all. So when the publisher asked me, I was like, Please, please pick me. So it is coming out on July 17th, 2025, and it is called Not Quite Dead Yet, and this is her first adult novel. So all of Holly Jackson's backlist to this point are all young adult novels, kind of like bordering on new adult. Like, they aren't super young adult. They're not like maybe aimed for like 10 to 15-year-olds. They're probably more in like the mid to late teenage era. Please just check that though for like actual viability. That's just like my opinion. But this is her first adult book, so I'm very excited to see like what some of the differences are going to be and if she's taking on a different writing style. But either way, I've loved all of the books I've read by this author so far, so I have no doubt this one's going to be a hit as well. So this book follows a girl called Jet who is 27 and she's figuring out her life. She is like, I don't know what to do. She moves back in with her parents for a bit of a fresh start. So we're loving the relatability of this character. And then basically she is attacked by an intruder one night and ends up in hospital, and she's given 7 days to live. So she's in this hospital bed and she thinks the last thing I'm gonna do is solve who's done this to me. So she has a childhood best friend that is helping her on this journey as well, and she starts looking at every single person in her life suspiciously, as she probably would. Oh, I've also just spotted, oh, there's some mixed media in this. Oh, how exciting. So this book has a total of 370 pages, so it's quite a bit longer than the Lucinda Berry one we just read, but maybe this means I can like sink my teeth into it a bit more. So you best believe I'm going to start this right now. Liking how dark this is already. I am so enjoying this. Okay, so let me tell you, so far we have our main plot that starts from chapter 2, which is what I quickly touched on. So we have our main character Jet, who is 27, and this is very important because I'm literally about to turn 27, so I'm like, relate. And she thinks somebody has tried to unalive her. So she's been in an accident. She's thinking, no, that person has literally just tried to unalive me. She's in hospital, things are not going well for her, and the doctor says, as we know from the synopsis, this is still no spoilers, she is given approximately 7 days to live because there is an aneurysm forming on her brain from this accident. Unaliving. And now she is on a mission to basically find out who the unaliver was before she dies. What is interesting is in the very first chapter, the characters were being introduced so quickly. Like, it was like bam, 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 bam. And I didn't really understand why, because that's not normally Holly Jackson's style, and it definitely isn't like a style that I got on with very well. However, it makes sense because the first chapter is like a Halloween night, they're at a carnival, and she's slowly like talking to the people that are in her life, like brother and wife and child, her mum and dad, like neighborhood kids, her ex-boyfriend, and it's basically setting it up to be like, these are all our potential candidates who've unalived her. And then now this part of the book is going to be her trying to work with the police. She's trying to get herself in there, also work with her childhood best friend to see if she can see exactly what is going on. And I have a really good feeling about this book. I don't know what it is, I just have I have a good feeling that this is going to be like a solid recommend. It does feel more adult than A Good Girl's Guide to Murder so far, but there's still some things which I'm thinking, some phrases I'm thinking like you would use that in a YA book. So for example, she was like, let me find it. So she said, okay, she'd worn the mask for a whole 3 minutes so mum couldn't complain. Would you say an adult book, or would you say she wore the mask for 3 minutes so that her mum couldn't complain? Or, I don't know, it just, that phrase feels quite YA to me. And also, I don't think this is going to be marketed as like a full adult book. Like, I'm not expecting it to get spicy. I just feel like it's going to be like more like new adult. Anyway, enough about that. Let's see where this goes. Hey friends, I have had a few days off reading Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson because I have been at the wonderful Hay Festival, as you can see by my very dramatic hoodie. So I will leave the link if you want to go and watch my full vlog there, but just because things were so busy, I didn't want to like keep reading this in like little tiny bits, if you know what I mean. So we are back now at page 120-ish. I'm going to pick up where we left off and let you guys know what's what. It's also nowhere near hot enough to be reading outside. I've got like 2 jumpers on, a blanket, just here for the vibes at this point. it's as if the gods heard me and now the sun is shining and it is warm. But I've come on here to say I love the fact this is an adult book because there's so much swearing. Like the F word is like every other sentence. I'm so here for it. Like Holly Jackson swearing in a book, it's just giving me life. You know you're locked in when the messy bun comes out. Okay, I am literally 2/3 of the way through this book and I've just had the most hectic like week and a half. I am so tired. Like I literally sit down to read my book and fall asleep within like 5 minutes, which is just not fun, to be honest, because it just shows how worn out I am. However, I really want to finish this book because I'm very much enjoying it. I'm enjoying Holly Jackson's first adult book. Interesting, like the way she has changed kind of the prose, but also it still feels a little bit YA, but she's just included a load of the F word, which is brilliant, honestly, like no sarcasm. Like I'm just here like, yeah, go girl, go girl. But I'm not sure she understands that like to make a book adult, it doesn't just involve swearing and like slightly more graphic descriptions of the crimes. Maybe it does actually. I don't know why else. There's just something in the actual writing, but if I'd have not known Holly Jackson was a YA author, would I be having these thoughts? I don't know. Anyway, so in order to finish this book, literally right now, we're locking in. I have gone to the corner shop. My hair's up. I'm feeling good. We have my little friend, the Red Bull. So you best believe we're finishing this now. And if you see me at the end of these clips looking all sleepy in bed, no, you didn't. So I'm on page 219 and there is, how many pages are we talking? 377, okay? 150 pages, more than doable. Very exciting news as well. I've also been invited to Holly Jackson's launch event, which is next week. I'm hoping she's going to be there. I assume she's going to be there to celebrate all things Not Quite Dead Yet. And it'll be so good that I've managed to like read the book before actually going to the celebration event, because normally they kind of coincide, like receiving proofs and going to these events. So it'll be fantastic to have already read it. I can feel the Red Bulls taking effect. So let's dive in. Guys, I'm calling it. I literally can't stay awake anymore. Definitely foreshadowing to seeing these clips later of me looking sleepy, but here we are. She's finished. Okay, I'm smiling now because I've had some time to digest. Before I give you guys my opinion, I was not smiling when I finished this book. Overall, this book was fantastic, but I think I'm gonna give it 4 stars, and let me tell you why. Holly Jackson is so wonderful. This was an extremely unique concept, and we also had our female main character Jet, who was brilliant. Like, she was really good. She was like equal parts lovable but equal parts sarcastic. She also didn't take shit just because it was coming from a family, which I really loved. And our other main character Billy had the biggest golden retriever energy ever. If you're a romance girly, this was literally grumpy sunshine through and through. This is not a romance though, but I feel like a lot of romance readers do gravitate towards Holly Jackson's books because they are like obviously thrillers, but she's kind of that like soft intro thriller style author. So as I have mentioned whilst I've been vlogging this is marketed as an adult novel, okay? And I do think it probably would still be an adult novel in my humble opinion. However, I do just feel like Holly Jackson has added in like 50 swear words to make it an adult book. Like there were some things that were on this end of the scale where like they were really adult, as in like graphic descriptions, really like intense subject matter, but then there were other things on the complete white end side of the scale, and I was like, there is no way you would see this in another adult book. And obviously being your go-to thriller girly, I have read a lot of thriller books, 98% of them being adult thrillers, not YA thrillers. Firstly, our main character is supposed to be 27 and I just don't buy it. Like, she reads like a high schooler, maybe somebody that's in uni, maybe like late teens. And then we have the plot itself. I didn't see the ending coming, okay, in terms of the actual whodunit aspect of the book, who's tried to unalive Jet on this Halloween night, but then also just like the rest of the way it wrapped up. Like, I don't know, I'm really trying to not spoil it. It was a surprise, even though it wasn't a surprise. Like, overall, really enjoyed this, but it's a 4-star just because I feel like it's not an adult book. And there was some bits I kind of just skimmed over. There was a lot of focus on Jet's brother's fiance or something, I don't know. I feel like she was maybe dragging in some extra characters to add to this character pool of suspects almost. I don't know. Also, when I first told you about this book, I showed you some mixed media elements, and when you find out what those mixed media elements are, you will cry. But just to summarise, this has to be my favourite page, 352. So the first 2 books in this new release thriller vlog so far have not been 5 stars, but that's okay because at least you're getting the truth. We do the truth here with your go-to thriller girly. So we've had 1 and 4, which I gave a 3.5. Reflected, is it a 3? Oh, I don't know, it's sitting around that mark. Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, I really loved. It's a 4, but it's a strong 4. It's not just like, oh, it's just a 4. So maybe like a 4.25. And with that perfect timing, I'm actually about to head down to London to meet Holly Jackson and talk about Not Quite Dead Yet. So I thought I would bring you guys because I'm also going to another few book events as well that I thought you might be interested in seeing the titles of. They're all, of course, new releases as we are like celebrating a publication for these titles. I'm also seeing Sammy and Abby. So without further ado, we're gonna go and then I'm gonna choose my next book for my new read thriller blog after. Hello friends! Ignore my little protective hairstyle I've got going on. I was like just about to walk out the hotel room and I was like, I've not told my friends on the vlog like where we're going or what we're doing. So if anyone's interested, this is how I protect my hair when it's raining, which it rains a lot in the UK if you're one of my US followers. Little space buns, little scarf over the head, a little hood, you know. Not going to demonstrate because it's a little bit ugly, but you know. So I'm heading out to a 3-course meal with Bloomsbury to celebrate Aftertaste. Now this is a book about food, so I'm guessing the course is maybe going to be like reflective of what's in the book. I haven't read this yet. I'm very excited to pick up a copy today and I have no doubt that I'll get into it. It is a sci-fi contemporary with an aspect of thrill is my gist. I feel like anything that's not like a through and through thriller or just like a classic rom-com I really struggle to put in a genre, so we'll find out.
The story follows a man named Constantine who discovers that his food can bring spirits back from the afterlife for a last meal with the people they love. And he sets out to open a New York City restaurant serving closure with this strange ability called clairgustance. I hope you've laughed, I hope you've cried, I hope you've swooned, I hope you've felt all of the feelings, good and bad, experienced new flavors, different cuisines, and I think...
It's all about confidence.
Hello friends! Firstly, my heatless curler's back in because I'm just about to go out to another event and I was like, I need to make this look a little bit more presentable. The rain and the wind was not my friend today. Secondly, I actually sleep in this every night and it's honestly changed the game for me because there's so much less heat damage on my hair now. I highly recommend it. This is literally my favourite perfume of all time, so much so that I literally keep it in the box in my bag so it doesn't get damaged. I love it. There's something so classy about a Chanel perfume. Just a little treat to myself. So I'm now dressed, ready to go. I feel like this outfit screams Lizzie McGuire, you're an outfit repeater. Does anyone else know that meme? I wear this everywhere. I'm wearing like my long silk skirt. Just can't get enough. So you're gonna see now what literally just half an hour of having my hair in heatless curls, the difference it's gonna make. You ready? Okay, bear with me. Unwrap the bottom. It's gonna be so anticlimactic, ready? Oh. There we go. She's back. She's ready for another event. No heat. Okay, I really got to go. I'm running late.
We want to see it happen in the Netflix show, but more about that later. I'm sorry, I just keep thinking about the scene where he's like, these pixies just gave me a bath, like... And they just hit this mask on me. I can't get
very thorough with that mask.
You can't forget about the mask.
Why might they find things like that?
Corner's office, and I asked Quinn to help me do so.
Thank you for asking all the wrong questions, everyone. At 9 a.m.
Set that particular bar inaccurately, but I think it would make a lot of other people cry too.
And I've been collecting those tears and I drink them to stay young.
And it's working very well.
It's working very well, yeah. I'm 807, guys.
But thank you all so much for coming. Please do come talk to Holly. Thank you.
Yeah, we're done. Mappy's here. I've just got back from London and opened the book mail that I've received while I've been away. I literally cannot even write the timing of this. Riley Sager's With a Vengeance doesn't come out for another week, so you best believe we're starting this immediately. I'm not gonna lie though, I'm quite nervous to read this because some of my other like bookish friends have read the advance copy and gone, eh. And also I didn't love Middle of the Night, so I feel like, oh God, please pull it out the bag, Riley. I, of course, am a huge fan of this author. I've read every book that he has published. If you'd like to see all my other Riley Sager opinions, I'll leave the video for you guys to go and watch. But I'm just... Oh, let's just dive in, shall we? No more suspense, let's just read it. Literally right now, like literally right now. Also, did you guys know that Riley Sager's name isn't actually Riley Sager? Feels like a secret that I don't know if I should be sharing or not. It's not inside information, it literally says it in his book. His actual name is Todd Ritter. Anyway, let me start.
I really like this little character list because since it's a locked door thriller, it feels important to know like who the characters actually are, and if you want to refer back, put in for me, Riley. Is Riley Sager a Swiftie?
So I'm about 70 pages in, and so far, honestly, all that's happened is what it says in the synopsis, in the setup. Our passengers have gone on the train. We know there is one person who's invited them there. They're just getting acquainted. Honestly, so far, it's not that bad. My expectations of this book are so low because of all the like advanced reviews, but so far I think it's quite well written, quite enjoying it. I think this has a nature to be like not what I enjoy based on its premise. Like it's a 1950s setting, okay? So normally, not really what I'd gravitate towards, definitely more an enjoy our thriller set in present day. However, I'm gonna not let that skew my judgment on this occasion. I'm gonna like just try and lean into it. Pretend I'm something from the 50s. Okay, so ignore the wet hair. I just had to come to you guys whilst I was like still forming my thoughts. I'm up to page 210 and I'm enjoying this so much more than I thought I was going to. I think because the bar was so low in terms of like my expectations, I just thought this was going to be copy and paste Agatha Christie style train thriller. Now I haven't actually read the original Agatha Christie train style thriller, so I don't have a direct bar of comparison. However, I'm surprised so far. I really am enjoying it. There's been a few twists. I think not like jaw-dropping twists, but like twists enough to like keep me interested. I'm currently reading this as part of my Fable book club book of the month. So like through every chapter, I've pretty much had something else to say. But I also think that's because the chapters aren't particularly short. They're not long either, but they're probably like on the average side. I think I've read a lot of thrillers recently where the chapters are super short, super snappy, like popcorn style thriller. So I think this is, it's a good change of pace, and I really like Riley Sager's writing, like despite the actual concept probably not being like super to my taste. I love his prose, I love the way he writes. I don't know, maybe I'm gonna be an outlier on this one. Like I really hope I am, because there'd be nothing more that I would love than to be like, this was actually amazing, like despite what everyone else is saying. So stay tuned. Now I feel like I understand. This book is getting seriously repetitive. I feel like for the last
maybe this much we've been going around in circles. The same thing's been happening over and over again. And I'm kind of a bit like, about the rest of it. And I certainly wouldn't describe it as pacey either. I think it's probably like medium pace. Like there have been some small twists, but only within the style of this thriller. I can't really say any more than that without completely spoiling it if you do go and read this.
Okay. Let me collect my thoughts before I talk to you. Hello friends, I have finished with A Vengeance by Riley Sager, and I'm very disappointed to inform you that it has got 3 stars from Francesca's Books. Now, this book had Riley Sager's classic prose. Like, you could tell it was a Riley Sager book. That is probably its only redeeming quality. It also did have like a very simple, easy to read plot. So maybe my 3 stars is harsh, but I just can't get my head around the fact that this was just nothing original. Like, it was a classic train murder mystery. It was set completely on the train, so you've got like this 12-14 hour journey. I'm gonna say if you enjoy books that are set in one night, you may like it, and if you like that classic murder mystery train vibe, you probably will like it. Like, it wasn't horrendous, it just, I think compared to Riley Sager's other books, your expectations are already really high, because I just personally love this author. I think I've only rated maybe one of his other books less than a 4 star, so I think that's why I'm struggling to be like really enthusiastic about it. Like, it wasn't bad, it just wasn't great either. It was just fine. Like, it was just fine. So out of the 3 new release books we have read in this vlog, we've had 1 in 4 by Lucinda Berry, which was good, 3.5. Had the wrong expectation of that going in, so that was my main issue. It was not Big Brother gone wrong. It was very much like a sexual assault story, if that's not too triggering to her. And I've read since that the title 1 in 4 is a reference to that 1 in 4 women will be sexually assaulted at some point in their life, and I think that subject matter doesn't tend to, like, it's not like a trigger for me personally. I think it might be a trigger for some people, but it's more that I just wasn't expecting it. I don't really know, and just wasn't my favourite Lucinda Berry. Again, another author. I don't think I've ever rated any Lucinda Berry book less than a 4.5 maybe. I think only The Perfect Child got a 4 from me. The rest have had a 4.5. To put it in perspective, over the last 6 weeks or so, I've read another 2 Lucinda Berry books. Keep Your Friends Close, which I rated 4.5, and Phantom Limb, which I also rated 4.5, so I think this was a one-off for this author. Then I read Not Quite Dead Yet by Holly Jackson, and this is my favourite book that I've read in this vlog. It was classic Holly Jackson style. It was more YA new adult than I would class it adult. The main character was 27 but didn't feel 27, but the actual concept of the book was really, really good. The ending got me. I didn't guess where it was going, and I really enjoyed the relationship between our main character Jet and her childhood best friend Billy, who are like we're following throughout the book. And then of course with A Vengeance, I've just given it 3 stars. I think that is fair. I think when I first finished it I was like, oh, 2.5, like straight down the middle, but I think it's more like a 3. Riley Sager's writing is good. I think this concept just didn't align with me. So we've got a 3.5, a 4 and a 3, but Not Quite Dead Yet was the standout by far. Maybe that's like more like a 4.25. That's your Wrapped. So I hope you enjoyed reading these new releases with me and heading out to London, go to some events. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I cannot wait to see you next time.